after I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job. I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me.
But who told you it's a good idea to put a mature man against the wall? Why would you want to go this far to get him to marry you? Even if you went on with it, would it be worth it? This is the worst strategy to get a man to marry you. It will never work with a man who knows himself.
For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car. And we putting stuff in the trunk, and I just started crying. I'm like, you really gonna let me leave? He looked at me and he said, have a safe trip.
The next video shows how easy it is to get a man interested in marriage, even if he previously showed disinterest. There wasn't a need for an ultimatum. The man in the video changed his mind and was ready to marry, but she didn't have to put him against the wall for it. Deliberately, he was willing to marry her on the next day. Let's have a look at what happened.
Red bean. Like I was saying, I think we should just stay friends, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not ready for a relationship. Like, you know, I'm just not ready for all that right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Damn. Crispy chicken. You say you cooked them? You did it? Cornbread. Cornbread. Cornbread too? This ain't Jip, this from scratch? Lord, shit. And you cook this like this all year round. It stays the same taste like this all year round. Well, I don't know, baby, look. You mind if I take my Air Max off? Look, check this out. I'm gonna take my Air Max off for a couple of years, because I've been thinking, since I've been sitting here eating on this, that you might be right. We might do need to get in a relationship, because real talk, I've been hungry lately, and these women I've been dealing with, they, you know, this is the taste I've been looking for. So, you want to get married tomorrow? You want to get married tomorrow? Because yeah, that look like that's what's finna happen. I don't want to be single no more. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and get married tomorrow. And I'm going to bring my little TV and my little VCR that I got, my 4 pair of boxes that I got at the crib with mom, and bring them on over here with you, because look like this is my home. Look like I got a phone to have home.
Listen to this.
This is the taste I've been looking for. So, you want to get married tomorrow?
As you can see, it's easy to get a man to change his mind when it comes to marriage and relationships. Most of us are simple, and as soon as we find what we are looking for, we will be willing to go further.
The conversation around marriage has taken a nosedive from what it used to be, largely because modern women have thrown traditional gender roles out the window. Instead of seeing marriage as a sacred bond built on commitment and shared values, it's now just another checkbox, if it even makes the list at all. Women today are more interested in living their best life, chasing personal goals, and prioritizing their independence over anything resembling a partnership. The real problem is that men are left out in the cold, watching as the women who should be their equals in building a life together increasingly reject the very foundations of what made relationships work. Women's refusal to embrace femininity or adhere to societal norms has fueled a growing resentment among men. And why wouldn't it? When men gave up their authority and let go of the reins, women decided to rewrite the rules entirely, rejecting submission, dismissing traditional values, and leaving men with a confusing mess of what's expected of them. Modern women have their own bizarre fantasies about marriage and dating, ones that look nothing like what men were taught to expect. These fantasies prioritize their ambitions, demand equality where it suits them, and often veer off into unconventional lifestyles that make it impossible for men to know where they stand. Is it any wonder men are left scratching their heads, trying to figure out how to navigate a world where the rules keep changing and traditional roles are seen as archaic relics of a bygone era?
Who are the primary victims of war?
I'll say women.
Why?
Okay.
How?
I mean, I guess the outcomes of going to war, like what happens with women and like cities that are invaded.
So let's assume military deaths are like nearly exclusively male. Like 99.99% male.
If
All
you're cutting
war.
out civilian casualties to prove this point,
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Then
but
men.
he can, especially since you're specifically looking at the United States. So, for instance, of the 292,000 members of the U.S. military who were killed by enemy fire, 16 of them total were female. 16.
of the
From the
United States, yeah.
Total. 16 from the United States for all of World War II. All of it.
I'm dating the nicest guy. That's great. No, he's like way too nice. Okay, then break up with him then? And what, go date some toxic douchebag? Wait, so do you think there are only super nice guys and then toxic douchebags? I mean, that's been my experience. I think you've got that wrong. It sounds like you have a very black and white view of how men treat you. What do you mean? I mean, you probably consider yourself a boss babe who don't need no man. Hell yes. So you think any man who doesn't cave to your every need is an asshole? That's right. But you're also a woman, so you're repulsed by a feminine man who allows you to control him. Yeah, So what society's telling you to do is in direct conflict with what biology is telling you to do. And instead of addressing these guys for who they really are, you're just allowing selfish emotional reactions to bring you to extreme conclusions about them. Most men aren't toxic douchebags or super nice guys. But if those are the only two types of guys you've dated, that sounds like a you problem, not a man problem.
You need to watch out for the red flags. Don't get married too fast. You want to go through at least enough seasons where you see how they handle pain.
Yes.
Their grandmother dies, how he handles that. Does that send him back to drinking and clubbing and being online flirting with other women? You need to see how she or he.
Now, this is a very important point that a lot of people really don't listen to. And I get it. When you're really into somebody and you're ready to just make that leap, it seems like the right thing to do right away. But it is true that people are different when it comes to their different seasons. Let's face it, life is always going to throw something at you. It always has, it always will. And you know how you yourself can be when things go crazy in life or when things are going sideways or when there's a lot of chaos. When you're stressed, you might be a little crabby. When you're going through hardships or a loss, you might just withdraw and just don't talk to anybody. I had to learn this the hard way. I would jump in relationships so quickly to the point to where I didn't even realize how these people were when they deal with things in their own life. Some people had super toxic behavior, and that's something that you really have to pay attention to because
If a friend of yours would lie to you, hurt you, be unaccountable to you, you have common sense to let go of that relationship. Why do you tolerate it when dating? Don't let chemistry keep you in a bad relationship.
Having conflict in courtship does not necessarily mean the relationship has issue or something. No, it only shows that there's something that needs to be addressed. There is an issue that needs to be addressed, that needs to be given attention. So conflict does not necessarily mean that this is an unhealthy relationship. Allow for conflict. Let the other person be free to express their mind, be free to get angry, to get annoyed with whatever you do or you don't do. Do you understand? Let me tell you another thing. In courtship with somebody that is never disagreeing with you on anything, you may probably need to check out that relationship. You know why? Probably they are trying to lure you into marriage. Probably there's something they are trying to hide from you. Probably the person has health issue that they don't want you to know. Do you understand? Or there's something that the person is trying to hide.
Marriage has become a bitter pill to swallow, especially for women who refuse to be chained by traditional roles. But let's be honest, it's not just about rejecting convention. It's about the constant barrage from media narratives that do nothing but fan the flames of discord, making relationships feel more like battlegrounds than partnerships. And why wouldn't men be wary? The legal system is a minefield, particularly in divorce, where fairness is as elusive as a unicorn. Imagine handing over your future to some judge who may or may not see things your way. Archaic, unjust, and downright terrifying. The mistrust and resentment are real, and men are fed up. Why should they gamble with their finances and mental health, knowing full well the odds are stacked against them? It's no wonder marriage rates are plummeting. The economic landscape isn't helping either. Women are climbing the financial ladder and now expect partners who can either match or exceed their earnings. This shift, combined with the trauma of witnessing their parents' divorces, has men asking, why bother? The risk-to-reward ratio just doesn't add up anymore. So is it any surprise that men are increasingly opting out of the marriage game altogether?
You believe that men and women have roles.
Oh, yeah.
But I do believe that if he wants a sandwich,
you make daddy a sandwich.
Most of the time.
No. Let me ask you this. Well, okay, let me ask you this. If me and you out and somebody say something slick to you,
you punch him in the face.
You want me to smack him in his mouth, right?
That's right.
So if I take you on a date and I say, look, baby, we gonna go Dutch.
No.
Exactly. If we walking up to the car and I don't open your car door, what do you say?
Open the door.
You better believe it.
Yeah, no, I am with you. I think.
So you make daddy a sandwich.
I think. I will.
If I'm outside cutting that grass, bring daddy some lemonade.
The feminist movement, for better or worse, has drastically altered the landscape of marriage, pushing women to prioritize independence over the traditional roles that once defined partnership. Feminism has convinced many women that personal autonomy and self-fulfillment are more important than creating a stable home or raising a family. This isn't just a shift, it's a complete overhaul of what marriage used to mean. In the end, the so-called empowerment of women has turned marriage into a minefield, where traditional roles are dismissed, and the very foundation of partnership is cracked beyond repair. If society is going to continue down this path, it needs to do so with a cold, hard look at the consequences, and maybe, just maybe, some recognition that the old ways weren't entirely wrong after all. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.